man.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So how's your day so far?
Good, man. Just getting started. Drinking some water.
Fantastic, fantastic. So
How are
Gus,
you?
I'm doing good, Gus. Thank you for asking. So Gus, your new debut album, Cold Slither, is to be out on July 25th. So would you like to tell me a bit on the work behind this debut album, the songwriting and the production that goes behind it?
Well, it's a kind of an old idea that Gerardo Martinez from RPM had, maybe going back 10 years ago now.
Hmm.
He had a contact at Hasbro, and then kind of things fell through. The GI Joe line actually kind of went dormant for several years at Hasbro. And in the last few years, they re-released the GI Joe line under the Classified series, which thankfully has been very successful for them. And kind of the planets all aligned. Um, this year at Comic Con, they're releasing the Cold Slither box set. So they partnered with RPM, and that's who contacted me because he knows, like, I'm a huge GI Joe fan, and we have a great working relationship for decades at this point. And I just kind of had to, you had to work under the guide, the kind of the parameters of Hasbro. So I submitted song titles, I submitted lyrics, but as far as the music, they kind of let me, whatever I felt
Yeah.
Cold Slither was supposed to sound like, or what I felt they would sound like. So I just kind of wrote songs that um, I think for me anyway, I think my goal would be I wanted to write songs that were metal enough that metal fans would enjoy,
Mm.
but GI Joe fans that maybe weren't metalheads would still also enjoy. So I guess I try to write, a certain amount of accessibility with the songs. Um, but I guess that remains to be seen whether I was successful or not. So we'll see.
It's really fantastic. And since the conceptual idea was behind the story of G.I. Joe and the series, so when you were writing the songs, like, did you put some kind of conceptual or a storyline behind this album?
No, I since I came up with the song titles first, and then I had to submit those for approval. And then once I had all of the song titles, approved, I then would write lyrics based on what the song title, kind of made me feel, and as a I've been a massive GI Joe fan since probably 1984. Um, so every title just immediately would make me, I know the Dreadnoks enough that writing the lyrics actually was fairly easy for me and quite a bit of fun. So, and then I kind of wrote the music based on how the lyrics made me feel. You kind of just hear what this is supposed to, like, what music would fit this story, so to speak. And that was kind of my process. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of it.
Cool, cool. And you guys also chosen a specific character in this series, like you took the role of Zartan, and the other guys, Torch, Ripper, and Buzzer. So was there any plan that went behind this?
I think it just sort of worked out that way because I wrote the music and I sang. I guess just by default, I'm going to be Zartan. And, when I knew that there was going to be a live show, I already had in mind who I wanted in the band. And these guys are all, number one, they're friends of mine for years. In the case of Matt Harvey, him and I work in other bands that we tour the world together with. Ross is a member of one of Matt's bands, so I've known Ross forever. Matt is a big comic book nerd. Ross is another toy GI Joe nerd like me, and the drummer, quite frankly, is a legitimate Dreadnok. He's from England. He looks like he looks like the action figure in real life. He's a great drummer. He's a professional. So, even though he may not be exactly a G.I. Joe fan, he's a actual real life Dreadnok. So, he fits the band perfectly. So, when it comes time to play live, everybody's a well toured veteran professional musician. So the live show will be, at the standard I want it to be at. So that was also a factor.
Absolutely beautiful, beautiful. And had the pleasure to listen to the album in its entirety. And I have to say, an intro followed by 10 amazing metal with great rocking vocals and amazing musicianship. I have to say, I've really enjoyed each and every song from this album. So,
Oh man,
uh,
thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
great work from you guys, Gus. And as the creator of the music, how do you guys feel about the outcome of this album?
I personally am very, very happy with it. Being such a big GI Joe fan, I just knew that I wanted it to be just, as perfect as I could possibly make a record. So that's when I enlisted also a friend, Matt LaPlante, who I think is, an incredibly talented producer and engineer and mixer. So, I would send him the demos and, he would, kind of critique things and say, hey, maybe you should try this or try that. So it was, and he also came down and we recorded vocals together. And, it's great to have somebody else in the room with you because they'll push you in ways that you may not push yourself. And that was great. And in the end, I'm very, very happy with how it all turned out. Like, I'm very proud of it. And again, because it meant a lot to me, again, it's this interesting thing, you know, GI Joe, it's almost like guys that make Star Wars movies. Like, it's this thing that means a lot to people, and it's your job to create something out of it. And of course, you hope that the people that you're creating it for appreciate it and accept it. So a lot of love and care went into this album for sure.
Fantastic, fantastic. And the album release will be just close to the Comic-Con thing. And do you guys have some special plans along with the release of this album?
Most of that is all kind of between RPM and Hasbro. I know we're playing a show July 24th, which is the first night of Comic Con, or the kind of the pre night of Comic Con, which is Thursday night. As far as I know, there is a plan for Cold Slither to be at the Hasbro booth Friday, but I don't know anything concrete yet, so I can't really say what's going to happen. But it seems like we're definitely playing the show. We're definitely going to be in costume, like it's going to be Cold Slither. And it's Comic Con, so I'm hoping that there's a lot of cosplay. I hope to see a Cobra Commander there, and I hope that there's some GI Joe guys there. Like, I selfishly, I hope the cartoon comes to life. You know what I mean? Like, I want to experience that myself. So it'll be a really cool night, hopefully.
Absolutely awesome. Awesome. And a couple of lyric video has been out from this album so far, but are there plans to come up with an official music video for any of these songs?
Again, that's kind of out of my jurisdiction. I would love to think, well, kind of there's a logistical problem. Two of us live in Florida and two of the guys are in California. So, and we're only kind of a month away from the actual concert. So maybe once they, because I understand that they're going to film it professionally. So yeah, I would imagine, yeah, you could easily make a video and release singles after the album's out using the footage from the concert. So, I mean, I hope I hope something like that happens. That would be super cool.
Sounds good. And will there be more touring plans for the year, or this is a one-time show?
Well, I personally hope and dream that there is a tour. I think ultimately, and I've been obviously asked this question all this week doing these interviews, and my answer is it is up to you, the people. If you guys enjoy the album and you watch the videos from the show in San Diego and people say, "Hey, I want Cold Slither to come to my town," if the demand is there, I know that all of us really want to do a tour. So again, I really hope and dream that yes, a tour would hopefully happen.
Cool, cool. And is RPM or Hasbro planning to come up with some kind of cool merchandise to go along with this album?
Yeah, I mean, again, like I'm not, believe it or not, like I'm not really on any of those conversations. Hasbro's a big corporation and RPM's like a real pro record company. So they kind of make these decisions. I've seen a T-shirt that looks really cool. I've seen the two vinyl variants that look really cool. But other than that, I don't know what else they're gonna do. I mean, I would personally love to see a bunch of merch because I would love to own it all. Because it's just funny enough, like even though I'm in Cold Slither to me is still this cool thing from GI Joe that I would still love to have. Like I can't wait to have the figures. I still just love Cold Slither. Like whether I was in the band or not, I'd be excited about this.
That sounds good. And speaking of Cold Slither, are there plans to come up with more albums, or is it a one-time project?
Again, I think that's completely up to the people. I think from Hasbro's perspective, I would imagine as a business, if RPM sells a lot of copies of the album, which I would imagine Hasbro gets a percentage of because it's their intellectual property, and if money's being exchanged, I would love for them to say, "Hey, go do another album and keep." I would love nothing more than for Cold Slither to turn into like this real band that just is a real band and we make more records and but ultimately, man, that's out of my control, but I can say that I would love for that to happen.
And Gus, finally, any message that you have for the metal fans around the world and who are new to this project called Slither?
Again, I think my goal was to write a good album, like regardless of the GI Joe component. I just wanted to write good songs that people enjoy listening to. My hope is that metal fans like it. My hope is that GI Joe fans like it, and my ultimate goal would be for both of the fandoms to come together in celebration of something that two things that I love the most in life, which is heavy metal music and basically 80s toys. Those are my two biggest loves in life. So yeah, just know that the record was made with genuine love and care, and it came from a genuine place. I think a lot of times people can be skeptical when something is, they think it's super manufactured and I saw a lot of comments, "Oh, this is AI or whatever." No, man, this came from a real heavy metal musician who is a real GI Joe fan. The music is real. Like I love it. So I hope everybody loves it too.
Beautiful. And Gus, I want to thank you so much for giving me today this wonderful opportunity to talk about Cold Slither, the new project that has come out. And like I said earlier, a fantastic album. The music is totally mind-blowing. loving this album, and I believe when it's out, a lot of people are gonna come fall in love with this new project. And I wish you guys all the best, and really hoping to see you guys on the road, mate.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.